Thank you so much, Chrissy. It's good to see you. I'm excited to be here today to talk about this because cheeks are so on trend right now. And I know that everybody's got questions that have to do with, what's the cool thing to use on the cheeks? How am I going to get the best results from my blush? What kind of blush formula should I wear? And there's so many options out there. And we have a bunch of them at Jane Iredale now. We have multiple blush formulas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to showcase all of them. I'm going to show you how to use them and then kind of let you make your choice as to what would be best for you based on your lifestyle, on your makeup skills, on what you like and what resonates most with you. We've recently launched our newest blush formula, which is Color Luxe Liquid Blush, and we're getting lots of good feedback on it, and everybody loves it. And so I'll definitely be using that today. This is my model, Madison. She's agreed to come and sit for me and let me do her makeup, and she's got such a gorgeous face. I don't know what I could possibly do to make her more beautiful, but we're gonna try. She did her skincare before she came. The way we're gonna do this is I'm gonna do complexion on her, and then we'll show you the liquid blush because that's, our star product. But then I'm going to go back into it with some other products. I'll finish her eyes and her lips, and we'll do more cheeks as well so that you can see a well-rounded kind of versatile, different options of ways to do your cheeks. So let's start with her complexion. Madison has an oily complexion, and she likes both luminosity or matte complexion, but I'm going to do a more matte complexion on her today as the basis. And that way the blush and the cheek products that I put will really kind of pop forward on her skin. To do it, I'm going to start with my Smooth Affair mattifying primer using my multi-use blending brush. This brush is one of our most popular brushes because it's also the brush that we use to put on our liquid foundations. But putting on primer with it, I think, is a great idea because when you use a primer and then you use a foundation, you get great results if you have the same brush for both. They kind of mix together in the brush as well as on the skin. So look up at the ceiling for me. Oh,
that's okay, honey.
I just knocked off one of your earrings. We're off to a good start. We've lost an earring. Do you want to take out the other one?
Oh, heck yeah. I'm not too worried. Actually, we're going to rock. Actually, nah, I'm not worried about them.
We're good. Okay, don't let me forget to get it off the floor for you later. All right, so you can see just with the mattifying primer alone that kind of took away any shine on her complexion. And now she has a slightly more matte, matte skin. Her foundation color is number 36, light medium in Skin Tuition. And I'm only going to use one pump of the product on her. And again, with the same brush that I used to put on her primer, I'm going in with that Skin Tuition number 36, light medium. Stippling it onto her skin to create a nice, smooth finish. And as you can see, it's a perfect match for her complexion. You don't even really see where it's going on. It just looks like her skin. That's a good idea for foundation. If you want your blush to look good, then making sure that you match your complexion properly underneath it so that you're not trying to correct with your blush is a good idea. Always do a good color match for your skin itself. And as I'm putting it on, how does it feel?
Great. Actually, really lightweight. Like, I feel like it is my skin and not, something that's on my actual face, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Perfect. That's what most people say when I put Skin Tuition on them, is they say it doesn't even feel like I'm wearing makeup. So we've applied that, and look up at the ceiling. I'm going to go right up under your eyes with it. I often put concealer up under the eyes because then we don't have to use as much concealer. Oftentimes we realize that we don't need nearly as much concealer as we thought we did because the foundation covers so well. Look straight into the camera. This is going to give her a broad spectrum SPF of 30 as well. So now she's got an even complexion. I will go in with a little bit of light in just a couple of areas. I'm going to use some of our Pure Match Concealer number 4. And I'm going to use some of that in a couple of areas around her eyes, down her nose, on the chin. Look up at the ceiling. And this is a shade lighter than her skin. By the way, I don't have those touch me up filter going on my Zoom camera. So what you're seeing is what's really going on. I don't like using a bunch of filters on people's faces when I'm doing their makeup. I like to give a true read of what the makeup actually looks like. Now, as we're going into some cooler months, a matte complexion is quite a popular tool to have when you are not trying to go for ultra luminous, which seems to be easier in the summertime. And right now in fashion, runways, New York, Milan, Paris, a matte complexion is making a bit of a comeback, which is nice. It's quite convenient for all of us going into winter. You can see I've added light under the eyes, out, down the center of the nose, and on the chin. We'll also do a little bit of coverage just there on the edge of her cheek. She had a little blemish. Very nice. And then now that her complexion is done, I'm going to go straight into the liquid blush because I want you all to see how easy this product is to apply. Heartbreaker is one of our most popular colors. This is kind of a saturated pink tone. And when you apply it, this is a product that you can dot onto the cheeks and then tap it out. You can rub it in a circular direction to blend it if you'd like to. One of the things that people love about this product is that it doesn't compromise the integrity of your foundation, which is really nice. You get a beautiful finish from it that just looks like healthy skin. Let's go to the other side. Again, in a circular direction, I'm blending it out. And you can see that it gives the cheeks some gorgeous luminosity. Now that's a couple of dots of the product just on the cheeks where I want them to be. Hold on, I'll go in with a little more here. This is a product that is sheer when you put it on, so you can get more intensity by adding more. Or if you think that you're the kind of person that really likes a lot of color, don't be afraid to go with something that's more saturated. For example, one of our darkest colors in this is called Sweet Jane. Even with the darkest tone, which you can see here, I can get a very fresh wash of color that doesn't look overdone. And you can see the color, how beautiful it is on her skin. Turn this way for me. And I put this a little lower on the cheek, blending it right into the Heartbreaker. And I like to tap and stipple rather than rubbing, because I feel like when you rub too much, it kind of depletes the intensity. But when you tap, you keep the hue exactly the way you want it to be. How beautiful that looks on her. So that is a kind of a nice example of how we can really just enhance the skin with this product and how easy it is to apply. Now, I want to take it to the next level, of course, because I'm a makeup artist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some eyes on her and some lips on her, and then we're going to come back and we're going to focus on those beautiful cheeks that she has. By the way, when I was choosing this model, I said, look at those cheeks. Those are the kind of cheeks that you could really play up in a variety of different ways. So what I'd like to do is when I do her eyes, Madison has kind of a coppery, orangey brown eye. So going to the opposite end of the spectrum to something more cool, like gray, is a great way to enhance the warmth of the eye. So I'm getting our Dove Gray eyeshadow stick, close gently, and I'm just putting it on her lid, using that as the base tone. Then I'm going to go in with my fluffy eye brush, which I love to blend with, and I'm going to blend the product out, taking it all the way up from her eye to the brow bone. So really, it starts out darker on the lid, but I'm using it as an eyeshadow base. It's going to go all over the whole eye. And you can see how easy it is to blend. Works out really nicely. Do we have any questions coming through, Chrissy?
Great timing. We do. Carolyn actually asked, I'm sorry, I think it's Caroline. I apologize if I mispronounced your name. She asked, how do you determine what blush color to use on the cheeks?
So I'm the kind of person that likes to go to the opposite end of the color spectrum from what there is a lot of naturally. So for example, if I have a client that has a lot of gold in her skin, I typically don't go straight for an orangey or warm blush because that'll be monochromatic. It'll just go with her skin and make it look warmer. I love the way that a cooler blush, like a pink or a fuchsia, will look on warmer skin. If I have a client with naturally cool skin, very pink skin, I don't typically like to go very pinky with the blush because I feel like when I do that, I can sometimes make the face look too pink, too red. So I'll go to the opposite end of the color spectrum to colors like peach and warm tones, oranges, gold undertones that will warm up the skin. So it's all a matter of taste. The truth is that most of us can wear many more blushes than we think we can. The key is always start by perfecting your complexion. If you have redness or blotchiness in your skin, get rid of it before you go in with your blush, because the blush is going to kind of grab or look like part of that blotchiness if those things aren't addressed. So I hope that that makes sense in what I'm saying. Warm colors on cool skin, cool colors on warm skin is a perfect way that I like to go. Look up at the ceiling.
Awesome.
I'm gonna take some of this eyeshadow stick underneath her eye as well. And again, this is the same Dove Gray that I used above her eyes. And you can see when I take it underneath her eyes, it really blends out nicely. Turn this way. And I didn't just put it right on the lash line. I brought it down to kind of create a soft shadow around the entire eye. Look how beautiful that is just by itself. For her eyeshadows, I'll use something kind of soft and natural. We launched our Riverstone trio over the last holiday, or over this past recent spring. And I love these colors because they're very neutral, but not too warm. So again, they're gonna play up the cool colors of her eyes.
I love Riverstone. It's my favorite Jane Iredale eyeshadow palette.
Is it? Yeah, it's
Uh,
so
while you're applying that, Laura asked, is Bombshell a cool or a warm red color?
Bombshell is a pretty cool red color. It's like a bright pinky red. So it's on the cooler end of the spectrum, but I think it's gorgeous on both warm and cool complexions. That absolutely beautiful. I love Bombshell. I think it's a fun color, but I know that a lot of people get intimidated when they see it because it's so intense. I'm going to get a smaller brush. I'm going to get the darkest color here. Close gently. Close closer to her lash line, I'm going to put this. Darkening just on the outer corner of her lashes. You know, one of the things I love about our eyeshadows is that even when you're using the darker colors, look up at the ceiling, they don't crumble the way a lot of other eyeshadows do. Look at that. My goodness. Looks so wonderfully intense on her eyes. Open. And then just a little bit underneath her eye as well. Look up at the ceiling. Very nice. Now that her eyes are slightly enhanced, I can go back in and play a little bit more with color on her cheeks. I don't want to put too much any one time on just one feature. Another cheek product that's very popular with us is our Glow Time blush, bronzer, and highlighter sticks. These products have a solid consistency rather than a liquid, and they can be used to contour, shape, and add hue to the face in the places that we want them. I want to use the Scorch, which is the second darkest of the bronzer colors, to put some shape into her cheeks. I'm going to take it from the hairline underneath the cheeks here, turn, underneath the cheeks, up in the temples, turn this way, in the temples, and also along the underside of the jawline, turn this way. And you can see all the places that we put it. Then I'll go back in and blend it out. I can use my fingers to blend it out, hollowing out her temples, like so. Blending it out with my fingers under her cheekbones. The other way that I can do it is with my same brush that I used for her foundation, the multi-use blending brush. I like using that because it creates a softer, more blended contour on the face.
What shade are you using for the contour?
Scorch, which is the second darkest of the bronzer colors. And you can see that it just looks like a shadow under her cheekbone. Up in the temples as well. And let's get the underside of this jawline here. But you see how that kind of chiseled her face and her bone structure, bringing everything kind of to more angular looking. And it's pretty easy to use. When I use things like that, I get great results because what they do is they meld with the foundation. Now, you'll notice I haven't put any powder on her yet. We could, over the top of the Skin Tuition liquid foundation, I can dust back over it with her Pure Press base, and that'll mattify the complexion even more and give her even more coverage. But she has a pretty flawless complexion. But I'll tell you now, it's a really popular protocol is using our Pure Press base over the top of our Skin Tuition. So I'm gonna just dust a little bit of Honey Bronze, which is a warm tone. I won't put it all over her whole face, but I'll put it in the breakthrough areas where we have a tendency to get more shiny. And I'll go over those areas where I bronzed to meld it to the face. And then, of course, whenever you do any kind of Pure Press base or Amazing base or any of our foundations, you always want to go back in, inhale and spritz. and that melds it all together so she'll have a long-lasting finish. So the other thing that we like to do for cheeks is we like to bronze over and above, or put not just like deep bronzers, but also shimmer bronzers. We have our Pure Bronze Matte and Pure Bronze Shimmer Bronzers that come in a larger container. The shimmer bronzers, people love it because they add luminosity to the skin. I already added kind of a hydrated looking shine to her cheeks. Now I'm going to go back in with the Rose Dawn. And I'm going to pick up some of that and I'm going to add it over the top for a bit more intensity. And you can see how that just gives everything an airbrushed look. It also turns up the hue of her cheeks just enough. Now, if I don't want to use my big fluffy powder brush, what I can do is I can use my fan brush and go just into the lightest colors and focus those like on the tops of the cheeks where she catches the light. And that's beautiful just by itself. Now, let's go back to her eyes a little bit because we've spent some time playing with her cheeks. And her cheeks are really glowing nicely now. If I'm going to do her eyes a bit more intensely, I'm going to get another one of our eyeshadow sticks, Midnight, which is a black, like a soft gray black. And I'm going to line her lash line with that on top, making it thicker, more intense on the lash line. Disappearing it into her lashes by the time it reaches the middle of her eye. I could tight line with it as well, but I'm sure if I want to do that. I'll go in and blend this lightly with the same brush that I used to apply her darker shadow, creating a softer, more dispersed intensity on her lash line. Open. Yeah, beautiful. Now I want you to do me a favor. Just lean forward into the camera and do a side to side so people can kind of see the intensity of the color. Very nice. Now, there's another cheek product that's actually cheek, eye, lips, anywhere you want to put it. That's it's a legend at Jane Iredale, and that is our 24 karat gold. This is a product that you can put anywhere on the face that you want to create luminosity or shimmer. I personally love using it on the eyes. My favorite placement is directly above the iris of the eye, right where you blink, like a little flash of light. So I'm going to put a bit of that, just using my fingers, directly above her iris to set them on fire. You can see how it's catching the light there. Giving that beautiful bit of glitter when she blinks. And then if I wanted to take the blush to the next level, one of my favorite new colors that we've launched, and I don't want you guys to get scared when you see this one. It's purple. It's called Dancing Queen, and it's kind of the most daring of the colors that we created. It has a little bit of shimmer in it, so when you put it on the skin, what it does is it doesn't just blush, it actually highlights as well. I love the color. I'm going to use my cheek brush this time, which is another really popular brush from us. And I'm going to get the color and I'm going to lay it on the top of her cheeks and up into her temples, pulling it up and out, giving a little bit of drama to her eyes and to her cheeks. And you can see the iridescence of that and the way that it catches the light, it's just breathtaking. Let's do the other side. That's unblended. And then as I just stipple it, it blends. Another important element of blush that's very kind of important to distinguish is that right now we're in a time where blush is not just in the apples, it's higher placed, but it's also mingling with the eye makeup. So when you're taking your blush into your cheeks, don't be afraid to pull it right into where the eyes are and let it mingle with the outer corner of your eye makeup in your eyeshadow to create a blended look. It all pulls together and looks so fresh. Are you loving the color?
It's beautiful. Perfect for fall.
Yeah, it's gorgeous going into fall. And these brushes, I'll tell you now, when you use the liquid blush on a regular basis, I recommend keeping one brush just for your liquid blush because the brush will get stained, but it's a testament to how long this product lasts and how long it stays on your skin. As liquidy and sheer as it looks, you'll be quite impressed with the longevity and how long it stays on your skin when you put it on. I'm going to go back in now and just finish her features off to give her a final look. So let's go into her eyes, and I'm going to use my ash blonde pencil in her brows. This is the shaping pencil. What it does is it gives kind of shape and definition to the brows while depositing a sheer amount of product. I like it because it's not too dark. The color ash blonde has a little bit of warmth to it as well. So it goes really beautifully with her hair. Yeah, I need to give you one of these. You need to wear this every day.
I'm already in love with it. I saw it and I was like, oh, that's way easier to apply than I've ever imagined. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's made for me almost.
And the spoolie at the other end makes it really easy to apply. Yeah, gorgeous eye. And do you wear, normally when you do your mascara, do you normally wear black or brown mascara?
I usually use black typically.
Good for you, because I'm not a huge fan of brown mascara, although we just launched recently a brown in the lash fixation, which is the one I'm using on you now. That's a really pretty color. And I've never been a big brown fan, but it is a gorgeous brown, I have to say. I'm not going to use it on you today, but worth trying. Look straight ahead. And this is a tubing mascara, so when you put it on, it surrounds the lashes with a really nice coating. There's a rice curl complex in it that lifts the lashes and helps to curl them upward. So you get a really gorgeous lash out of it. And then when you take it off at night, you don't need mascara remover or makeup remover or soap or emollient or anything. All you need is warm water. And it comes off in tubes. It's really cool. So it's easy to remove so you don't lose lashes when you're taking it off at night. Gorgeous. Let me put a little bit straight ahead. Follow the wand up right there. Beautiful. You're young enough that you can get away with mascara on the bottom lashes. And then let's talk about lips. I asked her before we started what kind of a lip she normally likes to wear, and she said that she loves to do kind of kinky, fresh lips with a little bit of intensity. So I'm going to use some of our more fun colors. I'm going to use Magnolia, which is a deeper pink. This goes really well with both the Sweet Jane that I put on her cheeks and the Heartbreaker that I put on her cheeks. It's pure pinky with a little bit of plum in it. Freshens the lips. And there's a stain underneath the lipstick, so when the lip pigment is wearing off, the stain is going strong. How are we doing on questions, Chrissy?
We're doing good. I guess one question that is probably going to get asked when the look is complete is you used the shaping pencil on Madison's brows today, but why would you choose the shaping pencil, brow pencil versus the precision brow pencil?
The reason I used the shaping pencil for her is because she already had some brows. The brows were not as dense as we wanted them to be. And the other thing is you could kind of see the skin between the brows. I could have used a powder, but I wanted something that would also kind of give them a bit of direction. So I love the shaping pencil because it's like a pomade pencil. So when you lay it down on the brows, it makes the brows go in the direction that you want them to go in, kind of glues them. And it also it fills in the skin and the hair simultaneously. So it's one of my favorite to use on brows like hers. If she'd had thick brows that were kind of already, there and bushy, I probably would have used a brow gel. But that's a good product for her specific brows. I'm going to go back in now with a pencil. I'm using Aubergine, close. And Aubergine is a little bit darker than the color of the lipstick. So I'm just going to go in and use it to create a nice lip line there. Good definition. And then the piece de resistance of this lip is going to be the the Flush lip gloss. It's a Colorlux lip glaze that I'm going to use with it. And the lip glazes have been tremendously well received. These have been by far our most popular lip product that we've launched in a long time. And everybody loves it because they give that gorgeous high shine to the lips and make them look very saturated with pigment and shine simultaneously.
Caroline asked, is it better to use a lip liner first or after applying your lipstick?
That's a good question. I like to use the lipstick first before I put on the lip liner because the lipstick lubricates the lip, and then when I put the liner on, it doesn't drag or make such dark marks. It blends as it goes when you're putting it on. So that makes it a lot easier to get kind of a defined lip that doesn't have lines that are too hard. If I put just the liner first, then I'll have a really dark lip line, and then I'll have to go back in and blend it. But when you blend it after you've put the lipstick on, it kind of blends as it goes and mixes with it. I'm going to put the shine in the center with the Flush, and that's such a gorgeous color for you. Oh, yes. And I focus the lip gloss really just in the center of the lip to make it come together. Do you like the color?
It's beautiful.
I love doing this on you because with the short hair and kind of like just really flawless skin, You remind me of some of the models that we used to have back in the 80s. Really, really just intense.
I love
Nice. Is there anything else we can do to her to make her look even more beautiful? One thing I can show you up along the top of her hairline, I'm going to get a little bit of that bronzer stick with the brush. And I'm just going to brush along her hairline to soften it down. This is a common practice we're seeing people do. Now, typically you're seeing put lines and then they'll go back in and blend them, but you can put your brush directly on the blush or the bronzer stick when you want to apply it, and you can see how that blended everything in nicely. The other thing, if you want to put some extra kind of definition in places on the face that are a little unexpected, let me show you a trick here. You clean this brush so you can see it. But our liquid blush is great for creating hue and luminosity. The blush and bronzer sticks can be really pinpointed because they're not as sheer. The bronzer stick I can use, I'm getting my detail brush, and I'm going to go into the inner corner of her eye with the bronzer stick and take it down the side of the nose to carve it out, just like so. Hold on, let's do the other side. Just pulling that along the side of the nose there to create a thinner, more defined nose. You can also go under the tip of the nose here, which is a place that everybody sees but doesn't really notice. And that what that does is it creates a shorter nose. You can even go across the middle up here so that it looks like the middle of the nose is coming down a bit and the tip is elevated in comparison. And then the thing that kind of pulls that all together is you can go back in with a highlighter like the Rose Dawn and pop a little bit of extra light just in the center of the nose there to make it pop forward. She gets a little nose job. My goodness. I don't want to go any further. I don't want to ruin it now. It's just too flawless. So let's go back to Chrissy. Tell me what you've got in the way of questions.
Yes. First of all, I just want to say Dancing Queen looks amazing on you. And really, it's just a testament to everyone who's listening. Don't be afraid to try new things because I mean, yeah, it looks purple in the container, but on her cheeks, it's just stunning. I love it. We do have a few questions. Sarah asked, what, and this is just good for review. What brush do you use to apply the liquid blush?
So you saw me first. I applied it with my fingers, tapped it and blended it with my fingers. I stipple it with my fingers. But if you want to use a brush for it, the cheek brush, oh my gosh, it's the best. And I want you to look up close. The brush is quite dense, but it's light and fluffy. So you have lots and lots of bristles that give you this perfect like dispersal of product. When you're putting it on with this brush, don't rub or grind it into the skin. Stipple, light stipple, just tapping and blending, and you get like an airbrushed look. It's fantastic. When and I have to give credit out to Nicole Musco, our director of product development. We worked on these brushes, all of us, me, my educator, Nichelle, Nicole, even Jane was involved with the brushes. She was like, we were sending them to her and letting her try them. But this is new technology that Nicole found that we're so in love with the new brushes. So let's review some of the cheek brushes that I use today, because all of these are applicable when you want to get a good cheek application. The cheek brush, of course, which is top priority. I think everybody needs to have this. The fan brush, when you want to precisely put highlights exactly where you want them. The powder complexion brush when you want to do bronzer in a large area or shimmer bronzer in a larger area. And then don't forget our multi-use blending brush. The same brush I use for her primer, her foundation, you can also use it to apply bronzer and blush. And it shears it out so you don't get as much intensity. So lots of tools, lots of options for that. And then when it comes to the individual blushing products, remember that we have the option of our powder blush, which I didn't use today. Our powder blushes come in a beautiful array of colors. This is Dubonnet, which kind of looks like a nude, soft, kind of an ashy tone. It's gorgeous to make the cheeks look shaped and pink without making them look too bright. Then we have our blush sticks. They are a very popular product for us because they add color that you can concentrate specifically in the areas that you want, and they're very emollient. Then we have our shimmer bronzers, and of course our matte bronzers, which have no shimmer to them. They're just tanner than the skin, and they can be used to shape the skin or shape the cheeks. And then the star of the show is our liquid blushes, which everybody's fallen in love with.
Deborah says she describes herself as aged, a little fluffy, and eyes a little hollowed, but her cheeks are full. Where should she apply her blush?
So if her cheeks are full, but her eyes are a little hollow, again, look towards the camera right here. The placement for the longest time was just in the apples of the cheeks, which doesn't leave a lot of color up in here. So very often people were seeing this area of the cheeks more flushed, and then they were putting bronzer around the outer portions of the face. But now blush is not just here, blush is up in here and even into the temples. This is nothing new. We did this back in the 70s, and it was fabulous. It's a revival of that style that they've brought back. 70s and 80s, they did it as well. But by pulling the blush up into the temple all the way to the hairline, what it does is it creates kind of a lifting effect on the face that looks very fresh. So, and you can do it with a nude color. You can do it with a tan, kind of a one of our liquid blushes that I think is going to be a huge seller is called Cinnamon Girl, and it's like that perfect color that looks like healthy skin that's been sun-kissed. I'll give you a testament. It's so natural that even a guy can wear it. Oh, there we go. A guy can wear it, and I'm blending it out on my cheek, and it just looks like healthy skin. Like my skin has been touched by the sun a little bit. I love the color. Let's do the other side. And what I love about it is it looks kind of like a tan, like that healthy color you get when you've been in the sun, and your cheeks are slightly flushed, but not too dark. It's just that warm tone that you get. So those kinds of colors I think are going to be really popular for us. I think everybody's going to really embrace Cinnamon Girl. It's going to be a natural one. But you know, if anybody asks, my big fan is I like the brighter, the pinkers, the purples. I think that they're beautiful on women right now. And going into fall, it's a perfect time to try them out.
While we're on the topic of blush placement, do you have any tips for blush placement for people who wear glasses?
For people who wear glasses, there should be no difference. If you're wearing glasses, I mean, you can go more saturated with your blush so that it's more visible if you feel like it's getting covered up. But because the glasses are there, it doesn't change the shape of your cheeks. So you still want those cheeks to pop forward enough. So the big thing that I see people do that wear glasses is they go a little bit more intense with their eyeshadows. And definitely don't forget to put light on those inner corners of the eyes in there. Those are the areas that you want to open up with light.
Sue is wondering what might be the best blush for her. She has flaky, dry skin.
Flaky, dry skin.
Mhm.
So the first thing you need to do is you need to address the skin, which means you need to call Lovely Skin, get in touch with one of their beauty advisors, let them know what's going on with your skin, with the dryness and the flakiness, and let them recommend to you a really good skin moisturizer. Because if the dryness and the flakiness isn't addressed, then no blush will look good. You need to address that first. And Lovely Skin has so many great brands of moisturizer. I know because when I go and visit them, sometimes I'll buy them and I'm always trying the new ones and they have great skincare. But once you have that addressed, then look at the hue of your skin and think, do I want my skin to look pinker or do I want it to look more coral? You can do either one, especially if you wear a good foundation under it to even out your skin's complexion. And if your skin is dry, I think that the liquid blushes would be a great tool for you because they're going to give back that luminosity and that hydrated look to your skin. So,
Pat says that she has a lot of redness in her cheeks from rosacea, and she's wondering what might be the best blush shades for her.
if you have a lot of redness from rosacea, you might be surprised to hear this, but Dancing Queen, when you put it over the natural redness in the cheeks, creates a really pretty color. So try it. I think you might be shocked to see. The other one that you can wear that will warm it up is called, hold on, forgot the name of it here. It's right here. It's Wild Child. And this is Jane's color, by the way. Jane loves warm tones. The Wild Child is a true kind of a peachy coral tone. Isn't that gorgeous? It's really beautiful on the cheeks. And so, if you have a lot of redness naturally, then you don't want to put more red in. But peach has enough of a yellow undertone that it'll help to neutralize some of that redness. So that's a good.
Um, Shawn, do you have all of the shades of the liquid blush with you?
I do.
I wondered if you could just very briefly like run through each shade and kind of just give a little synopsis of like what the color is exactly.
Sure. So Dancing Queen is our intense purple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open them up one at a time so that you can see because the bottles are glazed, so it doesn't give the best interpretation of it. But you can see that beautiful purple tone there. That's the Dancing Queen. The next one is the Sweet Jane, which is like a deep, rich plum tone. Nice and intense. And that's the one that I put on her lower cheek underneath. The Cinnamon Girl is that healthy, kind of a nude sun-kissed color. It has a little bit of terracotta in it. The Sugar Magnolia is a soft, kind of a nude, muted pink. This is going to be one of our most popular because it's something that anybody can wear. It's not too bright, and it gives that fresh look to the cheeks. And then for our more intense colors, Wild Child, our coral, which gives that beautiful intensity. Heartbreaker, the first one that I used, it's like a fun pink tone. And this is like Barbie pink. It doesn't show it on the camera, but it's definitely our brighter pink, but it doesn't look too intense. It's natural enough that anybody can wear it. And then the most intense of all of them is Bombshell. And Bombshell, you can see when you look at it, is like a true intense pinky red. So
Thank you for doing that. I feel like that'll really help people to be able to decide what colors they're going to select.
absolutely.
In closing, I have one final question. And Shawn, I'm just curious if there's anything that you'd like to add to your presentation today for our participants to know about Jane Iredale blushes.
Well, one of the cool things that I think everybody should remember, and we get caught up in the features and the benefits of each product and how great they look and the shimmer and the finish and everything else. But remember, first and foremost, we are a clean brand. So when we created these, we did it without using chemicals that would be compromising to the endocrine system, without things that would irritate the skin, without things that would cause allergic reactions or redness, or things that would be detrimental to the health of the skin on a cellular level. What's in it is hydrating oils, wonderful pigment that gives beautiful color without being irritating, and a soothing formula that feels great on the skin. So keep that in mind. We are, Jane Iredale, the skincare makeup. That's what we live up to with every product that we create. And that's what we pledge to do moving forward always, is that we want to create products that enhance lives and give beautiful beauty, but also enhance the health of the skin.
And I think that that's why Lovely Skin and Jane Iredale make such a great partnership. And just one reason why, honestly, all Jane Iredale products are staff favorites at Lovely Skin as well. If you have any additional questions regarding Jane Iredale products, or if you need to step into some good skincare like Shawn suggested, you can contact our customer care department at customercare@lovelyskin.com. We're trained by Shawn. He comes to visit us very frequently to teach us all the new tips and tricks and makeup ideas. So we'd love to pass those along to you if you have any additional questions. Madison, you look beautiful. Thank you so much for being our on-camera model today. And Shawn, thank you so much for educating us, not just on Jane Iredale blushes, but on several of the Jane Iredale products. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. It was a joy.
Thank you, everybody. We hope you have a good day. See you later. Bye-bye.